Hey, how's it going, everyone? Happy Wednesday. Happy morning. Thank you so much for joining. Futures are up today, and we are under strong resistance levels when it comes to SPY. So, in this live stream, we're mainly going to talk about what our selling premiums means, and we'll first talk about SPY, we'll first talk about QQQ, we'll first talk about the overall markets, and then jump into the importance of selling options and selling calls or selling puts or doing credit spreads or doing iron condors and their importance of it. So let's wait for more people to join in. Let me move this tab away. We can take this side. Good morning, Daniel. Mela in New York. Hey, Daniel, Adam, good morning. All right, so leading into today, it's going to be a battle of two AVWAPs, anchored VWAPs. So yesterday we drew an AVWAP from the opening print, which was from around the highs of 386. You see this line, the pink line, which is all the way to the downside. Yesterday to the close, they managed to recapture that, which is sitting at around 380.50. Now, to the upside, we have another AVWAP, which is from the lows of CPI. Do you remember the 348 when SPY dumped all the way to 348 and then rallied up all the way to 360 in the same day, which was at around 13th of October? Go all the way down, this candle right here. So this AVWAP comes from here. So that is sitting at around 385.50-ish and change. That's the area where the price been rejected multiple times over and over and over and struggled to break above. So if we move to 15-minute charts, we can see it even more clearly. So that is going to be the range for today when it comes to SPY. 380.50 to the downside and 385.52 to the upside. We do have an interesting event at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. We have FOMC minutes. If markets use it as an excuse to push higher, this area is going to be the first level of resistance, which is at around 385.50. Breaking above it opens doors for 387.80. You can see where that comes from. It'll be the gap fill over here, which will be around first area is 387.24-ish and change, the highs of December 21st. Above it, we're looking at this gap to be filled at around 390. It's pretty simple day today. If you're planning on trading, manage the risk. The first level of resistance comes in at around the AVWAP, which is around 385.50. Above that, watch out for 387 and the gap fill at around 390. So this is the bull case scenario. In case of the bearish scenario, we're looking for a break under 383. If they break under 383, watch out for SPY to come down all the way to run a test to 381.50. Breaking under, watch out for a test to this AVWAP. As long as they're between this range, as long as they're between 380.50 to 385.55, we are in a range bound type of markets. So manage the risk wisely. We do have a binary event leading into today at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. We have FOMC. That is something to keep an eye out for as well. So this is for SPY. And you can compare it with the morning notes, which has been sent to the members of the Discord and the members of the Patreon. So go ahead, check it out, read the notes and compare it with the charts to double check the work. If you don't know what anchored VWAP means, we can go over that. Let me know. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Noah. Good morning, Diana. Good morning, Nain. Good morning, KH. Thank you so much for joining. Right, so that is about SPY. These are the two anchored VWAPs, one from the year to date, yesterday's first opening print, and the other coming from all the way to the 52-week lows, 385.50 to 380. So that'll be the range for today. Breaking under 380, we know what it is, all the way to 378. If they break under 378, there is a gap to be filled to the downside at around 376.94. Under 380, bearish, about 380.50, kind of bullish to this AVWAP at 385.53. Pretty simple day leading into today with a FOMC at 2 o'clock. Anything can happen, of course, but for now, this is the plan. Let's go to QQQ and see what's happening there. Again, pretty simple day in QQQ as well. Anything above 262.33. 262.33 and anything above it, it's quite bullish. Bullish in the sense, not that bearish when it comes to QQQ. This is one of the laggers when it comes to the market. This is more weaker compared to that of the SPY. So as long as they're holding on to 263.33, watch out for them to run a test to those highs at 267. Anything above 267, we are looking for QQQ to run a test to 270 and change, which was the highs of yesterday. So now, if they break under 262.33, watch out for this gap to be filled at around 260. Anything under 260, we will handle it on a real-time basis. So it's pretty simple chart right over here. So we'll draw an AVWAP here from the highs of yesterday's candle. So as you can see, that's the area where we got rejected on multiple times yesterday. If you go to the smaller time frames, it'll be even more clearer. There you go. So this is the year-to-date AVWAP coming all the way from yesterday's opening candle. And how do I draw this is you go here on the left side. It'll be usually like this. If you click on the arrow and go all the way down, you will see anchored VWAP. It's not an indicator which I'm using. It's not the VWAP indicator. It's there under the trend line section. Click on it and go to the 3-minute charts of SPY or QQQ. Go all the way to the first candle and then click it there. And that's how you get this anchored VWAP line. And that is currently sitting at around 265. If you go to the daily charts and put that anchored VWAP from the lows, from the 52-week lows in QQQ, let's see where it's coming in at, which is at October 13th. Oh no, I put it for October 14th. All right, so that is sitting right at 276 and change. That is a long way off from where we are at right now. So for now, the range is pretty simple, 270 to 262.33. Let's see which way the bulls take it on. Let's go for Apple now, because yesterday we made a new 52-week lows. That is something to keep an eye out for. My dog is coughing for some reason. Right. Alright, now looking into Apple, interesting charts. New 52-week lows, and now they are above it. It's a pretty simple day for Apple. As long as they hold 125.93, as long as they're above it, the lows over here, which is at around 125.87, well, they can run a test all the way to 127.50, or even run a test all the way to 130 up north. Pretty simple price action over there. As long as they hold 125.50, that is. Anything under it, this area of 123 is going to act like a magnet for Apple. Something to keep an eye out for. As the Apple goes, so does the markets. If they open above the lows of over here at around 125.87, watch out for Apple to run a test to 127 and 127 to the upside. We'll do the same AVWAP over here. As you can see, the AVWAP is currently sitting at around 125.73, which was the previous 52-week lows. This AVWAP comes from the first opening candle, similar thing which we did from the previous talks like SPY and QQQ, and you can see all the way coming into 125.73. One of the laggers here in the markets. Keep an eye out for this stock. because depends on how the stock trades today. We can determine if it's going to be a green or red day in the market. So the first level of resistance is at 127.50 in case of a push to the upside. There is no trades to be offered over here because it's already at 126. I don't want to take this trade for a $1 bounce to the upside. If you do want to take the trade, I need it to get back comfortably above 130. As long as it's under 130, I don't see any good trades to the upside when it comes to Apple. If they break above 130, yeah, there is a nice trade to 134 or even 138 to the upside. I can wait for 130 to break before buying any calls or any shares on Apple. But for now, there's a higher chance if they break under 125.73 again, there's a higher chance that this might get to 123 again to the downside. So this is the price action for Apple. It's looking ugly. Not interested in going long, for example, by buying calls especially. So let's go over. Okay, good morning Mario. Good morning Chico. Can you look at Nike please? All right, NKU. Let's take a look. Oh right, decent looking charts right over here. Nike is actually pushing to the upside. Interesting. They broke above this trend line. They are holding that trend line as support for multiple times, and now they are breaking out. Now, the question is, are they going to have a weekly close above this level, above this 118 level, which we have over here, 117.66? For now, if they continue to push higher, there is the lows of this breakdown candle, which is at around 120.50. That's going to be the first area of interest for the bears. And if they do take it, watch out for 124, which was another local highs. I think the highs of August, I guess. June, okay. So 124.50 still remains the broader target, provided they take out this 120.50, the breakdown candle lows. As long as they are staying under it, it's kind of risky, but still possible. If they open above this area, 124.50 still remains the big resistance to the upside if they do continue to push higher. So if you want to take a trade on this, you got to stops at 117.66. So technically you're risking $2 to make around $6 to the upside, almost $6 to the upside. If they start losing 117, or if they start losing 116.17, well, things are gonna turn a little bit ugly again. But for now, the charts are looking pretty decent. So if you go here and see where the moving averages are in Nike, in case of daily. Alright, so weekly there's no hindrances. Daily above all the moving averages, 20 is crossing over the 200 here, indicating a good sign of momentum. It's a good looking chart, to be honest, not gonna lie. So watch out for 124. That's going to be the next area of importance, followed by 120.50. If they take 120.50, well, there you go. The skies will be clear for 124 for Nike. So, okay, Nike's. There's no moving averages it's above all the moving averages when it comes to daily, and when it goes to weeklies, it's about 50, 220, still it's above it, holding the 200 SMA in the weekly as support for now. As I said before, the first level is at 120.50, the second level comes in at 124 when it comes to Nike. Speaking of stocks which are breaking out, did you guys see Meta's price action yesterday? Something interesting over there. They filled it today. They can go ahead to fill this gap at 129 and change to the upside most likely, provided SPY and QQQ pushes higher. For now, the range in which it's been trading on is still active. They've been between the range of 123.50 all the way to 112. If you want to take the range of 124.50, even better, 124.50 all the way to 112 to 113. You can see the range clearly, up and down, up and down, up and down. Yesterday, they kind of broke out and now they're above it today. So if they do come down to run a test and find this level as support, I like longs. I like longs around this zone, provided they hold it. So if they don't, you can get stopped out for a small loss. But if they do, It's a pretty good risk to reward to the upside all the way to 129 or 139 to the upside, which was another local lows. Let's just drop this down to over here. Let's not get too optimistic around this area. Right over here, yep. 134.11. That's going to be the next big area of interest when it comes to Meta, followed by 139. Something beautiful here, this chart. Alright, so next we'll go over what the other macro factors are doing. Dixie down, 10-year yields down, gold, god damn, gold is up a lot. I hope you guys got into the gold shares yesterday at around 171. Look at this chart, beautiful. Yesterday was a beautiful breakout when it comes to gold. As I was saying, I am bullish on gold and silver leading into 2023. Leading into 2023, I am bullish on precious metals, I'm bullish on bonds. Make sure to establish a position. Make sure to have, I'm not going to tell you what to do with yours. I am establishing a position on gold longs. I'm establishing my positions on silver. I'm establishing my positions on bonds. For example, TLT is the ticker which I'm looking for, or SHY is the ticker which I'm looking for. If you haven't, something to consider. I believe the inflation will come down more rapidly than the Fed is anticipating by the end of 2024. We might be in for some deflationary pressures by, not 2024, 2023. I'm tripping. By the end of 2023. If that happens, the Fed will be forced to cut rates by the second half of 2023. I believe that's when we'll start seeing a turn in the stock market, when the Fed is actually starting to cut interest rates. So when that happens, the stock market will recover, dollar will collapse, and we will see a huge rally when it comes to gold or silver. For now, there is a big area of interest for gold at around 174 or 175 and change. If you draw a line right over here and extend this, there you go. So that's the next area of interest, around 174.44 when it comes to gold. If they recapture it, gold is gonna fly. We're looking at 177 and we're looking all the way for this gap fill at around 180 and change to the upside. Don't miss out. You don't have to FOMO right now particularly. So there are still a lot of opportunities and a lot of backtests you can get in and out when it comes to gold. So this is something which it's been on my watch list for 2023 as a whole. It's like a yearly play sort of thing. So when it goes to silver, SLV, another gap up, still range bound to be honest. Anything about 2250, watch out for silver to push higher all the way to 2280 and to run a test to this previous highs, which is around $24, $23.50 and change, and this gap fill at around 2380. It also coincides with the trend line coming all the way from the all-time highs at 2001. So something to keep an eye out for when it comes to silver. I'm bullish on gold. Further, I can see 2500s when it comes to gold in 2023 if everything goes by according to the plan. So position yourselves accordingly. So when it comes to TLT, what the bonds are doing. Alright, bonds are up. Pretty big gap up to be honest across the board. Recessionary feeling is what's happening here. Dollar down, yields down, bonds up, gold up, silver up. Looks like a recessionary trade sort of day. If that's the case, I believe Dow Jones is underperforming the markets. Yep, of course it is. Dow Jones is actually underperforming. When it comes to Nasdaq, yep, Nasdaq is outperforming because of the yields falling, and yes, S&P 500. S&P 500 is doing good, not bad. Still under the AVWAP when it comes to ES though, so let's see how it goes for today. You can see the optimism when it comes to Nasdaq because of the yields falling. So that's something interesting to look into. At least it doesn't work out all the time, but it does most of the time. The correlation between the 10-year yields falling and the Nasdaq rallying, something to keep an eye out for. For today, there's no big trades to be taken when it comes to SPY or QQQ. And if you go and take a look at SPY, we didn't do jack shit for the past few days. If you go to the 1 hour charts, look at this range. How will you trade this if you're working 9 to 5? It's just a constant barrage of selling at around 386 and a constant barrage of buying at around 375 to 378. This is where you can sell option premiums. What does that mean? If you're just used to buying calls or buying puts into 2023, it's not gonna fly, because when it comes to options, you got to learn multiple strategies and you got to use those strategies depending on the market environment. Right now, you can either scalp by taking, like, let's say you took a trade over here and then you sold it over here, and then you took a trade again here and sold it over here. Think about the taxes which you got to pay for every single trade which you made on this range. Not worth it. So if you are someone who doesn't want to pay the IRS a big amount of money, you can just take like 1 month out iron condors with a range of 390 and 375, and then just chill. Just one trade. If they break about 390, you can adjust your iron condors to the upside all the way to 400. But until then, you can just collect the credits and keep the credits you have. What is iron condor? So with calls, you make money when the stock price goes up. With puts, you make money if the stock price goes down. With iron condors, you make money as long as the stock is trading flat. Simple as that. If longer it trades flat, the more money you'll be making. And it's a credit-based strategy. If you sold covered calls before, right? As soon as you purchase the covered calls, you'll get a certain sort of credits. Just like that, as soon as you open an iron condor, you get to have a certain sort of credits. As long as the stock stays in that range, you get to keep that credit. That's it. Done. That's the strategy. As long as the market is trading flat, you'll make money. Days like these in particular. Look at this. From December 16th to Jan 4th, nothing happened in SPY. Just a range bound session. In QQQ, it's even more worse. Look at this. Same BS. In QQQ, the range is between 270 to 260. That's a $10 range in QQQ. Even better. As long as, if you open an iron condor, you can just open one like at this AV VAP, which is around 277 to the upside and 260 to the downside. So as long as like they stay within this range, well, you get to keep all the credits whatever you open. So if you, I would, before doing iron condors, I would recommend you guys to learn about put credit spreads and call credit spreads both. Because once you learn about these two, iron condors is just a combination of both. Because this opening these needs 4 contracts. You need to mess around with 4 individual contracts. With calls, you just need to buy one. With puts, you just need to buy one. People think it's complicated because we are dealing with 4 contracts, but in reality, it's actually not. It's pretty simple once you get a hold of it. Selling premiums is the way to go, especially if you're working 9 to 5. If you can't keep an eye out for the markets every single day, just sell the premiums, just look at the markets before open and see if you need to do any adjustments to it. If not, just go on with your day. If you need some adjustments to do, you can just come back, take a look at it, and then change the strike prices accordingly, and then either roll it up to like extend the expiration dates or just close it. So you doesn't need much of a management until things goes absolutely wild in markets. So that is something to keep an eye out for. Take a look at it. It's called Iron Condors, IRONCONDORS. That's the strategy which I was talking about. If you need to make money, if you look for a if you're looking for strategies which makes you money when the market is actually trading flat and not doing much, this is a strategy to look into. Iron condors. You look into vertical spreads. We call credit spreads and put credit spreads. Look into both and then jump into iron condors. Learn something new when it comes to 2023. Be an option seller as well, because when the VIX is high, premiums are gonna be gassed. We don't want to overpay for any premiums to buy calls or puts. We're just gonna stick with spreads, especially if you have a small account. That is, like if you have a $500 account or $1,000 account, stick to vertical spreads. Don't need to buy calls. You don't need to buy puts when it comes to SPY or QQQ. You can make money, but you can also reduce the risk as well. Something to look into. What do you expect from today's FOMC, and how do you see Ford? And good morning. Can you please take a look at BA? Right. First, let's start with BA, and then I'll come back to take a look at Ford. Right, BA has been on an absolute tear lately. Fucking hell, look at this rally. Insane. Right, so but it's sitting right under the resistance, which is around 197. Let's see how the price reacts over there. They did open above this area, which is the lows over here at around 191-ish, I guess. Yep. So they came back to run a test and push it as support. I believe that it's going to be a range-bound week when it comes to BA. If they do break about 200, this can rally like insane all the way to the next level, which is around 204 to 205. But for now, let's see if they can first take out this 197. Above 197, we are looking for 205. So these are the two levels to keep an eye out for. 197 to the upside, 197.60 to be exact, which was also nearly the highs of yesterday, which was the highs over here on March 28th before a massive collapse happened to the stock. So that level is very important. So 197.60 to 197.44. What's the highs of this candle? Yep, 197.58. That's going to be the first level of resistance, followed by the big fat round number at 200, and then 205.66 when it comes to BA. To the downside, 191 to 190 is the first area. If they break it, they can go down to fill this gap at 190. Let's go to daily charts and see. Yep, there it is, the resistance, 196.60. Under it, watch out for 190, the gap fill over here. Let's see how it goes. If they do come down and if they do break it, it's gonna be a double top on BA. But for that, we need confirmation and breaking or closing candles under 185. If they do break under 185, well, we can see all the way down to 177 and change to the downside. Let's talk real quick right over here. Let me show you what I was talking about so I don't look like I'm pulling numbers out of my ass. There you go. Here it is. So this was the highs on 28th of March. If you go to the weekly chart and see the local highs, which was around 28th, that's the level which I was watching for, 187.63 and change. And if they do break it, they can come all the way back up to run a test to the levels right over here, which was at around 284.85. So if they do break down, there is a gap which is right over here. We can draw the gap here. Which needed a filling over here, right? The gap extends to 190, which is also a strong area of support. Breaking under it, watch out for BA to run a test to 185. So now if you go to the smaller time frames like 15 minutes and then draw the AVWAP on it, the first candle. So you can clearly see the AVWAP is currently sitting at or around $195. And if they are opening under it, they can come down to run a test to 190 again, depends on the price action. Depends on how the price react at the AVWAP level. So we gotta wait and see. You go to the 5-minute chart, you can see the importance of that AVWAP, how they acted as support and how they acted as resistance multiple times, right over here. So let's see today, 197.63. As long as they're under it, the range bound session is going to continue. The range for now is 185 to 197. This is for BA and FOMC. I don't think why am I typing FOMC? My bad. All right. So I don't think there's not gonna be much said when it comes to FOMC. Markets are already pricing in a 50 basis points again, and I'm expecting the same as well. And the thing about this FOMC is, what's the Federal Reserve's expectation on inflation? What's the Federal Reserve's expectation on GDP? Those are the things which needed to be considered so that the markets can price in the Fed's expectations in upcoming quarters. So that'll be more important than what they do right now when it comes to rates. So everyone knows they're gonna go a little bit softer when it comes to rate hikes. 75 basis points, 50 basis points, doesn't matter. So let's see. I don't think market's gonna care much. They never did. It's just the forecast which we worry about. Let's see what's the forecast they're giving. What's the Fed funds rates are gonna be, and that's gonna be the most important thing when it comes to markets. So let's see. When it comes to Ford Motors. Pretty interesting looking chart. Let's go to the daily. Okay, this took a beating alongside with Tesla as well. Interesting. They didn't make a new 52-week low. That's a good thing, unlike Tesla, which got absolutely crushed. For now, if you are trading this, let's draw the demand zone right over here. So you got an interesting level of demand zone. Let me change the color so it doesn't look like death trap. Green. Let's put it green. All right, for the hue, green as well. All right. So the green box right over here is the demand zone when it comes to Ford, which is at around 1115 all the way to 1090. As long as they're above this zone, they can go all the way up to run a test to $12 and change to the upside, provided they take out this local highs, which is at around 1178. If you are going long on this stock, watch out for this level at around 1120 and to the downside to 1090. If you do draw an AVWAP from here to the lows, let's see where the AVWAP sits at. AVWAP is currently at 1141. So as long as they're holding above it, well, the next level of resistance to watch out for will be $12.16. That's the next area of interest in case of to the upside push. So if you're long, if you're holding shares on Ford, your stop losses should be breaking under 1090. You're technically risking less than $1, and to the upside, well, who knows how far it can go. The first area of interest for now I can see is 1240. It's a big area of resistance, got rejected multiple times over and over and over again, and if they go above it, we'll take it from there on real-time basis. But for now, 1240 to the upside is the first area of interest, and 1090 to the downside is the resistance. Thoughts on Disney? Did it make a new 52-week low? Okay, they bounced. Interesting. All right. Disney, it's not something which I would go long on, to be honest. I don't like the charts. I don't like it as long as it's under 90. I wouldn't touch it for calls, to be honest. This is a type of chart which you stay far away from for any long positions. Oh, you got to buy when it's low. No, you don't. Look at the trend line coming from here. I don't even have to do anything in this. You can just see it right over here. Sellers are in control. You can clearly see it. Every bounce is getting shorted. Even if they do bounce, they're going to go all the way to $92-ish and change, and then get rejected at this trend line again before pummeling lower. So if I do want to take longs on Disney, I want this to get comfortably above this trend line or above this local highs. If I do draw an AVWAP from the lows over here of this candle, which is a 52-week low, It is sitting at around 86.80. So I mean, as long as it's above it, at least for a short-term basis, we can consider it as bullishness. But nah, it's $90 is still a strong resistance to the upside. If they do break it, the next level comes in at 92.50. It's a lot of overhead resistances to the upside. I'm not willing to gamble on it. If they go up and if they prove me wrong, that's good. I want it about $92 before even considering any positions, and I want it comfortably above 100 before even considering any long-term positions on Disney. I would buy it above 100. I wouldn't touch it until then. But for now, it is bearish. So short any bounces as you see, because that's what happens in a downtrend. Okay, Mario, can you please differentiate between VWAP and AVWAP and how the AVWAP is used? Alright, anchored VWAP is something which we set from a particular price point to where it's trading at right now. VWAP is what, like on a daily basis, it updates. It starts from the daily candle open, the candle open to the candle close. But anchored VWAP, you can set it from the exact price point. If you go to SPY, I can show you. So here, this VWAP is set exactly from this price point of the lows of 348. So that is important. So we are taking the VWAP from this lows, and that's the one which we see. You can see how many times it got rejected around that area, the same AVWAP. If I zoom in, it'll be even more clear. The 385, rejection, 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 over and over and over. You can see how it acted as support on the way up as well. So this is the VWAP taken from, it's anchored to that price point. That's why it's called anchored VWAP. It's fixed to that price point of $348 low. So with VWAP, it's going to be different because it's going to change on a day-to-day basis. And for intraday trading, VWAP is fine. But for me, I want the AVWAP for a particular price points, for example, particular price points of important significance. For example, this price point is significant because that was the new 52-week low. That was a 52-week low in S&P 500, which was at around 348 and change. So we set one over there, and we set one yesterday, and we're setting one on every single stock we see at the opening candle of yesterday, because that is the new year-to-date AVWAP, because it's going to come in handy as the stock trades into, let's say, March, April, May, June. This, what we fixed right here at the opening candle of yesterday in 5-minute chart or 1-minute chart or whatever it is, the first candle, that is going to come in handy in the upcoming months. So we have one AVWAP from the year to date from the opening candle of yesterday, and we have that 52-week low AVWAP. If they break it and make a new 52-week low, we will remove that and we will place the new one instead. But until then, these two are the AVWAPs which I have on my charts, on every single chart. Anchor the recent 52-week low and anchor the year to date for now. So if you don't know how to create one, it's not an indicator. In the trading view, on the sides, you'll be seeing multiple options. Click here on the arrow. You should be seeing trend line generally. So click here, you'll see a small arrow. And if you go all the way down, you'll see anchored VWAP right over there. Once you select it, you got to press on, if you go to the 5-minute chart and Jan 3rd, 9:30 candle, click over there when it comes to SPY. So that will give you the anchored VWAP for the year-to-date price action. And the more we go into the year, the more it makes sense. For now, it's already making sense. You can see how the price is getting rejected and how the price is reacting around this AVWAP. There you go. The first rejection comes in right over here, and then they got rejected multiple times over and over and over, and finally broke out above it and now trading above it. So let's see how it goes. So make sure to have this on the charts. It's, as you can see, these are the only two indicators which I use, and I do have ATR, but I don't have it in this chart, I guess. Do I? Yes, I do. So I do have ATR and I do have this VWAPs, and that's it, done. I don't have any other indicators when it comes to analyzing the price when it comes to SPY. But I do keep an eye out for certain moving averages, as you can see over here. You can remove this. This is garbage. Yep. So that is the 50, 100 and 200 SMA. I don't take trades based upon on these. I just need the direction at which these moving averages are sloping. So something to keep an eye out for. Is this five? That's a 5 minute. Yes, this is a 5 minute chart when it comes to SPY. And you can see it's just a range bound price action. If you go to an hourly chart, you can see it even more clearly. If I click on 1 hour, it's even more clear. You can see just a range bound, just a chop fest, like a bunch of shit. That's what's going on. You used to set the AVWAP. Yeah, it's us which need to set the AVWAP manually. You can't just go to indicators and type AVWAP. You won't find it. You got to find it through here. You got to select the arrow and you got to go to anchored VWAP and you got to set it from there. Which indicators did you say? It's anchored VWAP, AVWAP. It's not an indicator, but still, it's a VWAP at the end. Anchored VWAP, ATR. Those are the only two which I use for intraday analysis mostly. But if I need, these tells me everything which I need to know at the end of the day. But I do have the moving averages 50 SMA, 100 and 200. I don't see them for support or resistances, but I do see them, I do use them to see which way they are sloping towards. If they're sloping to the upside, bullish. If they're sloping to the downside, the momentum is still negative. So for that sort of thing. But most of the time these moving averages align themselves to the strong areas of support anyway, so it doesn't matter. Alright, so let's go to Yahoo Finance and see which tickers are trending. Let's do that. Right, today Microsoft is trending for some reason. Microsoft, BABA, CRM, Apple, GERN. Alright, let's go and see CRM because I saw they cut most of their workforce, 10% of their workforce, and damn, that's a big gappy. Nice. Alright, so let's see if they can come down to hold on to this 138 levels, I suppose. If you want to trade CRM today, well, 138.74 is your area of support, first interest, and the next one shows up at 137.50. Let's see if they can stay above this range. If they can stay above this range, they can get all the way to 143 to 145 or all the way to fill this gap at 150 to the upside. Depends on what the market is doing. What Microsoft is doing and why is it up? Oh, Microsoft is down big time. All right. Yesterday they took off the first biggest market cap and now they're coming for the second. What's going on with Microsoft? Do you guys know of any news? If you do, make sure to let me know in the chats. Let me know. Oh, all right. Before me moving on, let me finish what I started. AVWAP. So if you're doing this, make sure to double press the AVWAP and then like remove the band multipliers 2 and band multipliers 3. And for the style, you don't need to have the lower band, upper band and the background. Remove all these things. You don't need to have that. So lower band 2, upper band, you turned it off over here. So band multiply 2 and 3. So you don't need to mess around with this. But remove the band 1, band 2 and band 3. You might need this when you're trading and condors or something if you want to like keep an eye out for the standard deviations, 2 standard deviations to the upside and 2 standard deviations to the downside. But for now, you don't need this. You can remove these two, lower band and upper band. So once you remove this and your indicators look like this, you will see a beautiful AVWAP as you see in my screen. All right, so moving back into Microsoft, they're pushing it down. So if you guys know any news on Microsoft, let me know over here. There's a big gap to fill to the downside at 228 when it comes to Microsoft. If they break 232, well, watch out for that gap to be filled pretty soon, 227 and change. So what's the other ticker which was trending? GERN. Let's see what's going on with GERN. If it's a penny stock, I'm going to lose my mind. Oh, of course it is. All right, not even worth looking into. So Apple. Okay, so these are the 5 tickers. BABA is another one. Another gap up. Oh, it's a beautiful gap. Fucking hell, to 98. If Baba is gapped up, Billy should be another one. Oof, here we go. Beautiful gap. Interesting. Chinese equities are doing good, boys. All the Chinese equities gap up big time, I'm pretty sure. Let's see what NEO is doing. Don't think it's going to do jack shit, but still something to take a look at. Oh, they are up 30 cents. Great. Yay. Alright. Baba. Alright, so they're getting into that $100 price point. Let's see if they can take it. 111. So these are the stocks which are trending. Microsoft, Baba, CRM and Apple. If you want to take a trade on CRM, 138 is your area of interest. Something to look into. And that's an area of support. Alright. Let's see, the market is going to open in 2 more minutes. Let's switch to SPY to see what's going on over there. And if you guys have any more questions on AVWAP, let me know. I'll be happy to answer. Microsoft is an analyst downgrade. Nice. Interesting. You don't need to set from the top to the bottom. You just need to click on the candles which you need to set the AVWAP on, and it will do the job automatically for you. Simple as that. So, alright, 1 more minute to the market. Are you guys bullish or bearish today? Let me know in the comments. Bullish, bearish. If you're a bear, type bear. If you're a bull, type bull. Let's see the sentiments right now. For now, for me, I'm just expecting another choppy day. If Microsoft pummels down even further, and yesterday they took Apple down the sheds, now they're gapping up Apple and then taking Microsoft down the sheds. Both are looking like shit regardless, but still. One is looking more shittier than the other. Yay. So, let's see how the day goes. I'm just waiting for markets to take a direction. Here we go. Apple opened above it. Let's see. They will come back down to run a test to this 125.94. Okay, what's CRM crossing the trend line? Let's see what's going on there. Alright, nice. I want CRM to come down to run a test to 138. Until then, I'm not taking any trades on this. Got my alert set. Let me set another alert. And not crossing. I don't want this to cross. I want this to value. Where are you? Value, value, value. Let's set it at 139. Not crossing. Entering the channel. Save it. Right, the upper bound is 139. The lower bound will be 138.74. Save it. Alright, so when it enters the channel, we will know. Until then, we can look into SPY. Right, SPY, did they open above? Alright, they got rejected at that 383 level. So if they can't recapture this, which is around 383.12, watch out for 381.55 to be tested, or this AVWAP to be tested again. So let's wait and see how the rest of the day goes. Nike is pushing higher. What are the other stocks outperforming? Coin is up. GPN is up about 100. Nice. Nope, not interested. HOG. Not interested. Not interested. Not interested. Nope. AMD. Nope. Let's see Apple. Anything good? Nope. Rejection again. Headed back to run test to the lows. Amazon. Amazon is one of the weakest looking stocks out there, to be honest with you. Yesterday we shorted Amazon and I was out for like a 10% quickie. a good thing. Okay, they're losing the AVWAP here. They're losing $86 rejected at the highs of yesterday. So let's see how it goes. We just opened literally like 2 minutes into the markets. They can recover this AVWAP. As long as they recover $86, it's all good. You can see the importance of this $86 level, or you can say right over here, 85.89. Right, they are pulling the rug from Amazon, Microsoft. Yep, there we go. Looking for going for that gap fill. Yesterday Apple was down 4%. Today Microsoft is down to 3%. Let's say Apple, are you going to keep the market up today, or are you going to pull the rug from down under again? Let's see. Is EPPH or Enphase? Enphase a good shot. Enphase was a good shot the moment it broke under 285 and change, I guess. Oh my days, 248. Jesus Christ. That was some brutal 2 days. Enphase can get to 237 and change here. If you haven't been short already, well, know where your risk level is. But for now, 237 seems more and more likely to the downside. If they do break it, watch out for 234 to 237 range. So that's the range which I'm looking for when it comes to Enphase. Right over here, this one. If they break under it, we have a support right here, the strong one, which is also after the gap fill, which is around 217. So let's see if they can hold on to this. But sooner or later, they should get there. Not saying they will get there, but they should get there, considering the trend. What's FSLR doing? Penguin was talking about it. All right, FSLR. If you want to short something, FSLR is something to keep an eye out for. They are just holding on to this area of around 144 to 143. So let's see if they break this, they can get to 140 and change. Amazon is getting taken out. Let's see whether the buyers are stepping in or not. They got rejected at the 20 SMA. Microsoft is the laggard here. Let's see, did they fill the gap? Nope, they didn't. Let's keep a close eye out for Apple and see what it's doing. Alright, so you can see where they found support at today. It's nearly 125.94-ish and change. They came back to run a test and now going back again to 127. If you're looking for longs in Apple, I'm not interested as long as they recapture 130. They can do whatever they're doing right now, back and forth, or whatever the dance they do. Not interested until I see 130 and above. SPY is pushing up here. Let's see if they can hold on to this range. $385 is the area which we are looking for. If we do take this level out, 385 and change. Here we go, pushing up. The first level of interest is around 384.26 and change. This consolidation, the top of this consolidation. If they do take it, the top of this red box will be tested. 385.30 to 385.50, which is also the AVWAP. With Microsoft lagging, let's see what CRM doing. They came close. They came close to our area and then now they're bouncing. We need them to get inside that range. We have the alert set for CRM. Let's see how it goes from there. And we'll take the trades based off open. Alright boys, if you guys have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll see you guys in the morning. I'll be here for another few minutes. I'll just keep an eye out for SPY and let you guys know if there's anything interesting going on. Nothing much of interest for now. 385.50 still remains the area of importance to the upside. Not interested until they break this level to the upside. They might use the FOMC as an excuse to push up. So let's see how the rest of the day goes. Leading into binary days like this, clearly there are a few days where you stay out of the market. This day is one of them. So let's just watch the shit show unfolds. And if you do want to take a long trade, I want SPY to go about 390. Until I see about 390, I'm not interested in going long on SPY. Ooh, but you're missing out on $7. I don't care. $7 doesn't matter. About 390, I can take $10 to 400. I either need a break under 380 or a break about 385 or 390 to take any trade in SPY. The only thing which is preventing me from... Okay, so let me open a bands from here. So if I open a lower band and upper band, I can clearly see the range over here, which is at around... Yeah, there you go. 360 and 410. So if you want to open an iron condor, so these are the range to look out for. 360 and 410, like a month out. Let's see how much premiums I'm getting. So if I open an iron condor, which is like a month out from now, which Jan 5th, if I go all the way to Feb 3rd, let's say, and if I go all the way up to 410 calls, if I sell that, and then buy the 412, and if I go all the way down to 360, okay, puts are more expensive compared to that of the calls. The 410 calls are actually, that makes sense. Okay, so technically you're getting $54 credit for $200 collateral, which is for as long as price stays between 410 to 360. By the end of February 3rd, you get to make $55 credit. You get to keep them. Interesting. Let's see. If I'll let you guys know if I open one. It can wait. Right, pretty boring day so far. Nothing is going on. So watch out the range. Respect the range. For now, the range is between 386.50 to 380 to the downside. So keep a close eye out for the AVWAP. If you haven't attached already, I would recommend you doing so. If you want to read more about AVWAP, look into Brian Shannon's book. There is a book written for the AVWAP in particular. I found it more informative. I hope you guys do as well. So go ahead, check that book out. So that is interesting. This has helped me a lot, to be honest. So you can see how it's been reacting back and forth. These are the only two indicators I use. So if you want to learn, go ahead, buy the book, do some experiment with it, attach AVWAP into different price points to see which suits for you, and yeah, go ahead, go ham. Alright boys, that being said, thank you so much for joining, really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Look into iron condors, look into credit or debit spreads, sorry, not credit, call credit spreads and put credit spreads. Look into credit spreads in general. Today evening after the market closes, when you find time, look into iron condors. It might sound so complicated, but when you learn the basics of it, you'll find it so easy. You'll find it so easy to use. Look into it, it's much worth it. These are the few strategies which you got to know if you're trading in the markets, especially if you're trading options. If you're an options trader, you've got to take advantage of these. Don't miss out. All right. Thanks so much for joining. Check out the Patreon, check out the Discord. Leave a like,